When Adolf Hitler died, the Third Reich collapsed. But not everyone fell with it. Some of the most powerful Nazis didn't face a trial. They didn't face a firing squad. They simply vanished. So how did men who helped run the most brutal regime in history escape justice? And what does their survival reveal about how power really works? History likes clean endings. A dictator dies. A regime collapses. Justice follows. But reality is messy. In May 1945, Nazi Germany is defeated, militarily. Administratively? It's chaos. Millions are displaced. Records are destroyed. Borders dissolve overnight. And inside that chaos, opportunity appears. Not for soldiers, but for bureaucrats. The men who knew how systems worked. Who understood paperwork, money, networks. The same skills that built the regime. Now help them escape it. Here's what surprises most people. The most visible Nazis were the easiest to catch. Generals, camp commandants, public figures. They had faces people remembered. But men like Martin Bormann? Party administrators, financial controllers, logistics managers. They lived behind desks. Many had no blood on their hands directly, but they made mass murder possible. And after the war, that distinction mattered. Because Allied investigators were overwhelmed. And justice prioritized the obvious villains. Power doesn't disappear when flags fall. It transforms. Nazi bureaucrats understood documentation better than anyone. They knew how to change names, destroy files, create new identities, move money quietly. Some slipped into displaced person camps. Others used forged Red Cross papers. A few even worked for the Allies. Because in the early Cold War, anti-communism mattered more than accountability. And expertise suddenly had value again. You may have heard the story. A vast secret Nazi organization, smuggling war criminals to South America, helping them build new lives. ODESSA. It sounds cinematic. But here's the truth. There was no single, centralized escape organization. What existed instead were networks. Former comrades. Sympathetic officials. Church routes. Business contacts. Messy. Decentralized. Effective. Not a conspiracy. A culture of silence. No disappearance haunted the post-war world like Martin Bormann's. Declared dead. Then rumored alive. Argentina. Paraguay. Brazil. Every few years a sighting. Why did this myth last so long? Because Bormann symbolized something terrifying. The idea that power could vanish without consequence. When forensic evidence finally confirmed his death in 1972, the truth felt anticlimactic. He didn't escape to rule again. He simply avoided judgment. And that may be worse. The men didn't always survive. But the systems did. Authoritarian habits. Bureaucratic obedience. Careerism without conscience. Many former Nazis returned to public life in post-war Germany. Judges. Administrators. Civil servants. Not because they were forgiven, but because societies need continuity. And continuity often hides guilt. This is how regimes outlive themselves. The fall of Nazi Germany teaches a disturbing lesson. Evil doesn't always flee. Sometimes it blends in. The most dangerous figures aren't always the ones who shout ideology. They're the ones who understand systems and know how to survive them. In the next part of this series, we'll confront something even more uncomfortable. How loyalty, not fear, kept the Third Reich functioning until the end. Because power doesn't only depend on leaders. It depends on who keeps saying yes. If you're watching this series, Part 4 explores how loyalty became Hitler's most effective weapon. Subscribe, and continue the story.